Rolling. Terus
Logo Negara Part 2, Scene 1, Take 4.
and action.
United as one nation should be the way of life of Malaysia and her citizens. Was it so in the early days? How do you see unity among young Malaysians today?
Well, those days, I find that unity was fairly good in my time. When I was in school and subsequently too when I was at work. And there was a good unity. A good example those days is when there was a situation, there was emergency, there was a curfew, and my Chinese friend, colleague, felt uncomfortable, and the first thing she did is she called me. She said, "Can you please let me come to her house because you can shelter me because I'm afraid that there's some issue that I might be in danger because my husband is not around." And without thinking twice, I said, "Of course." And I had them in my house. And in fact, that time, I had the privilege and the opportunity to be able to be escorted. Therefore, I was able to bring her over. And you know, you won't believe it. I was in a rented house with 3 bedrooms, yet I had 30 people for one whole week in my house with multiracial, you know, because there was Chinese, there was our Malay, of course, friends and all that, you see. So I feel that at that time, there was that unity and understanding that we are just members of the community of Malaysia. We are Malaysian. There's no thinking about you are a different race. Even though out there is a group that's feeling otherwise. So, but today, it doesn't go to the extent. But today, the young people, either through internet or through for other reasons, there is definitely a feeling of difference. Your different religion, different culture, different race, and there is a little bit of communal, and because of the ethnicity or religion. But there's the other part of our Malaysian is quite unique. I suppose, without thinking even of Rukun Negara, we do put people together. For example, I think we are one of, perhaps even the only country in the world that practice open house, where no matter what race you are open. You don't have to be invited when it comes to your festival, you know, and that's where we learn each other's culture, food, and appreciate each other.
Datin Paduka, I have some small questions to ask to add on. Yeah, during that time you were on the bench in the 1969 and 1970. Can you just share with us a little bit your experience during that time at work?
Yes, okay.
We were at that little bit, so that it's a bit of a color story.
Yeah.
Whilst waiting for this.
I think you like that part of it. I can see her reaction on the fact that I had 30 people that I sheltered
In the house.
We're multiracial.
Right.
There's one couple married to German, a husband in Malay also was there.
They were seeking shelter for protection?
Sorry?
They were seeking shelter for protection?
Well, they're friends, so they all came and stayed in my house, you know.
All right. So, when you were at work, what was it that you had to do during that time, Datin Paduka?
Well, during the curfew time, I was sitting on the bench, So first thing in the morning, I had a phone call, and from the police to say, Tuan, I'm coming to fetch you. And I said, for what? I need to take you to court. Why? I said, it's curfew. She said, no, you need to mention cases, remand cases, because I said, what about the other members, the bench, magistrate and judge? Oh, they're frightened, tak berani. So I said, what about me? Well, never mind. I said, I'll come along. So every day for 1 week, I would go to court and mention cases. And then on top of that, there's of course, the shops are closed as well. But there's one or two groceries that will open until about half the day. And so the neighbors would call me and said they're needing milk for the babies, food, certain food they want to buy, they can't get it because they can't go out. So I would go to the groceries, pick the food, and deliver to these homes. And I'm quite happy to do that, and I'm able to help, you know. So all these things, I think, those days, due to upbringing, due to the fact that of our communal interaction, you don't have to think twice about helping each other. And it doesn't matter what race you are, but the fact that you are Malaysian, you're one, and you are neighbors, so therefore you take care of each other.
So Datin Paduka, how young are you? We are a bit curious to know, how young are you today, if you don't mind sharing with us?
You want to put it there?
Can we know? Can we use it? How young are you today?
Well, only for your own knowledge now.
Okay.
Guess.
Yes, anybody wants to guess?
76.
Are you 70?
Thank you for the compliment.
90s.
I've just touched my Octogenary, just touched 80 today, a few months ago.
I see. Octogenarian is 80, right?
Sorry?
80, right?
I just touched 80.
Yeah. Congratulations and happy birthday, we must say. Sorry for not knowing the beautiful date for you today. I have one other small question to ask. You had more than 30 people in your house. Were you not afraid of your own safety, your own family safety, for that matter? Could you just share with us? At that point of time, there was no thinking twice about who, what, the beliefs, the religion, the, you know, language, or even the culture, and you had them in your home. Did you at any point of time worry about your own safety? How was it then?
Well, as a matter of fact, the police highlighted to me and asked me, am I not afraid? I said, afraid of what? Well, people are hurting each other out there. And I said, well, it never crossed my mind. To me, it's not about my personal safety, it's about togetherness. And a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Would you do the same again today?
Inshallah.
Would? Right. You did say it was because of upbringing, this good feeling about other friends, you know, that the united or unity was inborn. How do you bring your children to realize that, your grandchildren to also be just like you?
As for I don't bring up my grandchildren, but I bring up my own children, so I can only talk about my grandchildren and my own children. But in terms of the children, I always tell them, you know, that I just bring them up without having to worry about them, because for me, they should just mix and mix and be sociable with anyone, doesn't matter who it is. And I think this is what I see in my children. And and I told my children, mixed marriage. My boy married Chinese, my daughter married Chinese.
Okay. So you only have 2 children, a pair,
No, I have 4.
4 children.
Yeah.
Right.
So and my daughter, for example, grew up with a present husband in school, and they knew each other since the age of 13, and they were just friends. And when they are 30, only decided, oh, okay, I want to live with you forever.
Right. I had one other question at the back of my head, but I've kind of, okay. Any one of your children took from you becoming someone on the bench, took up legal studies or studied law?
Where 2 of my children studied law, and I encouraged them in the sense that they asked me, Mama, what do I study for my further studies? I said, what are you good at? Are you good at maths, science, or art in general? She said, not maths, not art, not science. Now in that case, I said, the best thing is, why don't you do law? Because it is a visa to many walk of life. So you can choose whatever field of life once you got the legal qualification. True enough, but I said, you don't have to practice law like I do. But true enough, they did law, but none of them practice law. They go into any other business area but law. But it's a good background they have in terms of understanding their surrounding, you know.
So I assume with that answer, you have no regrets of having studied law yourself.
No, I definitely not, because actually my father encouraged me in a way, because I wanted either to do on the medical line or the legal line. But my father was more keen that I be a lawyer, and I said to myself, okay, if I did law or whatever I choose, at the end of the day, I don't need to depend. I'm sure I'll settle down, you know, so I don't have to depend on that, as long, because I'm quite open to both. Why it's important to me to deal with these 2 professions? Because it's dealing with people. One is either physically or emotionally, and law definitely deal with people's emotion.
Well, that's an interesting answer, because Tun Saleh Abbas told us he wanted to be a doctor first. And a Chinese doctor, a neighbor, told him, no, take up law. So he told us that he wished he was a doctor so that he wouldn't have to go take piles of files home, and instead just, you know, give a prescription to his patients.
Well, my reason is because I said I always love being people, you know. So that's why sometimes at home, this is not for the record.
No.
Jangan cakap dia sakit ya. I will just try to take this, take that, you know, which from my own personal experience, you know. So that's why when, you know, and when I see the traditional lady that dalam hari kan bela and all that, and I follow them exactly, you know, pantang all those things.
Right. Interesting story. You already popular that number?
Well, this is
This is just a color story, not really going to be on air. It's
no.
just
I mean, I know for you. You just want to get to know you,
Yes.
getting to know you. That's
right.
me.
That's right. Okay, cut.
Cut.
Dah cut.
Okay.
So ada photographs